Hey, it's Cayman with S&B, and today we have this Transit 148 up on the rack, and we're going to go over our water tanks we have for the 130, 148, and 148 extended Ford Transits. We're going to have install videos on each tank as well, so if you want to learn more about one tank, you can watch the install video, but we'll give you an overview of the three tanks and kind of just talk generally about them. So we have our 22-gallon driver's side tank right here. Then we have our 20-gallon passenger side tank right over there. Then on the rear, we have our 25-gallon spare tire replacement tank. And first, just a little bit about this driver's side tank. Kind of the first thing you'll notice is what we did is we have this tapered inward. First, that minimizes the tank you see when you look at the tank from the outside. You don't want to see a big tank hanging down from your van. So it tapers inward and also allows all the fuel to collect right here. This is a 1/2-inch MPT port if you're going to be using it to feed a pump, and you're going to be using this as a fresh water tank. This also could be used as a drain if you want to hook it up to a ball valve. So they make these 3/4 inch or 1-inch ball valves if you want to switch and just to dump as you're driving, which a lot of people do. You'd go 1/2-inch MPT to 3/4 inch MPT, and you'd have it set up. This is an 1.5 inch MPT, so if you want the more traditional RV dump, you could go 1.5 inch to 3 inch and get one of these valves to dump your water. And again, if you're using it as a gray water tank, this is a good port to feed water into the tank. So you can come from the rear of the tank, you can have your P-trap, then dump right here into the top. None of our tanks are pressurized tanks, so they all need to be vented. And you can see on the top, we have our 3/4 inch vent. So this is 3/4 inch because we want a bigger vent. And so the way you set up your vent, the way I set up my vent is I usually go with a 90-degree fitting. So you go 3/4 inch to maybe 3/4 inch barb, and you can just run a 90 off of here, then right to the ground, or if you want to, you can feed the hose up somewhere high, so the sloshing when you're driving doesn't immediately eject the water. And this is an 1.5 inch port if you're running a level sensor. So these are the level sensors we recommend. It's 1.5 inch, a screw-in style, just a mechanical level sensor. And we have a video on this on how to use the level sensor, but you simply just we like to use a step drill bit and open this up, put some Teflon tape on the threads, run it in, and you're good to go. Another option is you can run this is a Garnet Instruments stick-on level sensor. You make some spray or tape that goes over this, but you can see this is the Garnet 710 ES2. It fits perfectly here with no trimming of the pads. As you'll see on the spare tire tank, that one needs to have a stacked pad, so you trim off. You can see where the pads end and stop. You trim off a couple, you crimp on the two together, then you cut the top to designate the top, and it can be used on the rear as well. I've seen more problems with these than I've seen with these, so we definitely recommend people go into these, but these are kind of like the latest technology. All these, or I should say, these front two tanks mount with no drilling. So you simply use tank hangers that go up into the body. Then these hold onto a bracket. So you simply put the hanger on, slip the tank in through the hanger, run a nut through the bracket, and the tank would be mounted. Again, you can watch our install video on how that gets mounted. Here's a little overview on the spare tire tank. Again, we have our 1.5 inch on the top for the level sensor. 3/4 right here on the side. So for this one, you can run 3/4 right to the vent to the side and kind of loop it over the tank. You have a couple different options here. 1.5 inch if you want to use it as a drain. 1/2 inch. So to fill this tank, you can use a pressure fill. So if you're hooking it up to a hose, simply just injects water into here. This tank does come with a garden hose adapter to where it can shoot water into the tank. This tank does require a small, or actually this tank does not require any drilling as well. Misspoke there. Simply use the tank hangers. And again, this is a very similar tank. We can go over to the other side, use some more room. Very similar tank to the driver side. This is our passenger 20-gallon tank. Same fitting placement. This tank has cutouts for the factory steps. So we know people like the factory forward steps. They have cutouts here so you can continue to reuse them. This also has that tapered design. Works with the exhaust. But that's pretty much it. We're gonna work today on getting all three of these tanks installed and go over more in depth, but let us know if you have any questions.